What's up YouTube, Jeff back again, and today I have a very exciting review for you guys. I've been needing to replace my router for quite a while. My router is about 5 years old now. Needs some new tech, and the friends over at Dynalink sent out their Wi-Fi router, Wi-Fi 6 AX3600 router in particular. This one's great for my house because I have a relatively large house, not up to the maximum that it covers, but I got like 3,000 square feet. Sometimes there's some dead spots, things like that. And so I'm going to unbox this, show you guys what's in it really quick, talk about some of the features. Then I'm going to set it up. We'll do some tests around the house and also show you the Hey Google functionality. So just some of the features to kind of be aware of here. You do have Wi-Fi 6 technology, of course, speeds up to 3.6 gigabits, Qualcomm 2.2 gigahertz quad-core GPU in here. You've also got the AirGain 4 times internal 2.4 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz smart antennas. So you're going to get both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz bands. That's important because, of course, you do have that chance, for smart devices, you need to usually run on 2.4 gigahertz. Coverage up to 4,800 square feet. Like I said, my house isn't quite that big, but if you have a bigger house, you can still use it. The WPA3 latest Wi-Fi security protocols are in place. Like I said, it does work with Google Assistant, which is a big deal for me because we use that. We have Google Home speakers all around our house. And also very secure with Dynalink, their app, and also their web UI for managing the router. Never going to compromise any of your user data or even store it in any way. So I'm going to go ahead and unbox this really quick. Let me get the little unboxing knife here. And we're going to take a look at what is in the package. We'll see the actual router itself, take a look at how large or small it is. It's relatively compact, actually. And then we're going to set that up, like I said, downstairs, which is where I have my router now in the living room. And we'll test some tests up here in my office. My office is the main place that I tend to use the internet because I'm always doing unboxings like this one, and that tends to be the place where I need the best coverage. But the router is usually downstairs because we stream a lot of 4K Netflix, and it's really nice to have that there for that purpose as well because my son watches a lot of content downstairs. So I'll go ahead and take off the sleeve here very carefully. So now this is going to fold up, and then you'll get your router and all of your welcome information on the inside. So here's a welcome card here. Shows you how to set it up, all the ports, of course, the Ethernet ports right there, power, WPUS button, all that good stuff. We'll take a look at that when I actually have it set up in the house downstairs. I can show you guys more live what it looks like. This is the router itself. Put that to the side for a second. See if there's anything else of interest down here in the bottom. Shouldn't be too many crazy things here. You've, of course, got some Ethernet cable if you want to do a wired connection. And you've got the power brick with some Dynalink branding, which is pretty compact, honestly. Just going to put the box here out of the way so we can take a look at the router itself. Some protective plastic. It's actually very compact. It's more compact than the router I have right now. This one's really nice. I mean, this is pretty small. Like you guys can see, in comparison to my hands. I don't know if I can show it here. Here's my S22 Ultra. I mean, it's like 1.5 times the S22 Ultra in height. So it's pretty compact. I mean, pretty slim. Dynalink branding there. Some fans on the bottom. There's your ports, the button, USB connection. Your internet goes there. Reset button, power button. Pretty standard setup, but it's definitely going to look nice in your home decor. Nothing that's going to, be too garish or ugly. And the power brick and, of course, Ethernet. So I'm going to set this up downstairs where we kind of watch a lot of our content with my 85-inch Samsung TV. And then we'll do some tests up here in my office and other places in the house, just kind of see how it does with that coverage and do some speed tests as well. All right, guys, so I wanted to show you where I set up the Dynalink router and also talk about a little bit how to set this up and how simple it is. It's super simple to set up. This is my living room area here. You guys can see we got the 85-inch Samsung TV with my light bar set up. Those are the blue accent lights that you see there. I've got my modem. Those are my Philips Hue hub there. My son's got some of his toys over here. And here is the new star of the show, the Dynalink router, as you can see. Now, this thing is super simple to set up because right on the bottom, you do have this QR code. And all you got to do is download the Dynalink app and then scan the QR code. And once you scan it up, pretty much instantaneously going to go ahead and set up your Wi-Fi network. You can choose the name and you're good to go. The process to set this up literally took me about 30 seconds once I downloaded the app on my S22 Ultra. There was no problems whatsoever. It was very, very simple to do. You guys can see the footprint is also pretty small. So you compared it to the Philips Hue Hub, which is also tiny in and of itself. The app is also incredibly simple to use, which is another thing I like about it. I'm gonna show you guys really quick a tour of the Dynalink app to close out this video. But before I do, I wanna show you guys the speeds that I'm getting down here right near the router, which is where my TV is. You guys can see I am getting over a gig speeds down here, which I do have Cox Gigablast. So that's where this should be, and that's exactly what the Dynalink router is pushing out. So very, very impressive performance, especially for the price. And I'm definitely gonna be replacing my old router with this one when I'm done reviewing it, because I was getting probably only like 600 megs right here by the TV area with my previous router. So you can see that this new technology, especially the Wi-Fi 6, very, very big impact. At the end of the day, seems to be worth it. All right, everybody, we are back up in my studio here. This is actually where I get the poorest reception in my house with my old router. And while I was really glad that Dynalink decided to send out this router for me to check out, so I want to show you guys now some of the speeds that I'm getting up in this room. I used to get around 50 to 60 megabytes using my old router, and now, let me just switch over here so you guys can see. So right here, as you guys can see now, fast.com doing a quick speed test, getting over 300 megabytes per second, which is amazing, about 5 to 6 times faster than my old router. And again, keep in mind, this new Dynalink router is also a lot cheaper than what I paid for my previous router just 3 or 4 years ago. Wi-Fi 6 making a huge difference on the Galaxy S22 Ultra right here. All right, so now we're up in my son's room, which is actually the furthest away from the router. I want to do a quick speed test to show you guys what it looks like up here so you guys can see the speeds we're getting. This is another area where we had a huge dead spot before I switched over to the Dynalink router. So let's see what we're getting right now. And right here, you guys can see speed test in my son's room, which is the furthest room from the living room where I placed the router. 330, which is again about 6 times faster than what I was getting with my previous router. So this is really, really impressive and shows me that this Dynalink router is just a great value when it comes to speed. Again, the Wi-Fi 6 making a huge difference here on my Galaxy S22 Ultra. All right, guys, so we are back here just to wrap this up. You guys saw all the impressive speeds, not only right by the router, which was downstairs, getting over a gig with my Gigablast connection, but you also saw the impressive speeds up here in my studio and also my son's room, which is pretty far away. Again, the furthest room in the house that's away from my router. This router just blows away my old one, and I had a fairly expensive router. It is 3 years old, but I mean, this new technology and the value on this router is just really, really impressive. This is the app. I wanted to show you guys kind of a little bit of tour of this. It's called Dynalink. It's right there. You can get it in the Play Store. And it's very simple, very clean interface. If you go in here, then you can just quickly see all the devices that are connected to the internet. A couple of other things I really like about this app is my son's only 2 right now, but eventually I'm going to need to do some parental controls, and I can easily do that in here, add a profile and restrict by device, which is awesome. Here you can actually enable QoS, which will enhance some of your device's network performance. I should probably do that. You do have to set the network bandwidth. And of course, it's very simple to do that very easily. Just upload this here. I'll probably change that to my actual speed because I do, again, have Gigablast from Cox. You can turn this on or off right here very simply if you want to not enable that as well. But it's very easy to do. And the other thing I really, really like about this Dynalink router, which was a huge problem with my old router, and that is the different 2.4 and 5 gigahertz networks. They have completely different names. You would think this is not a big deal, but for smart home devices, like those lights that I showed you, the ambient lighting around my TV that I did the video on, those require you to connect to a 2.4 gigahertz network. And my old router did not allow you to actually parse out a 2.4 gigahertz network to connect to. So I had to buy a Wi-Fi extender just to hook up some of my smart home devices. I personally think that's just like really, really silly that I would have to buy a Wi-Fi extender in order to connect to a 2.4 gigahertz network when my router is already capable. But here you don't have to worry about that. You get 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. Now you can do band steering, which is going to allow you to have only the 2.4 gigs and then basically steers it to wherever you want, which is kind of more along the lines of how a mesh router would work. But having that choice to parse them out and separate them out, I think really sets this apart from my old router, and it's personally something great for me. You can also, of course, set up guest Wi-Fi connection here as well. It's very simple to set up the guest Wi-Fi on your Dynalink router. All you have to do is go into the app, go from main, go over to guest here, turn on the guest Wi-Fi settings just by toggling on this toggle right here. And then it will change your Wi-Fi settings, makes you lose the current connection if, of course, you are connected to it. Go ahead and hit apply settings, and then it will turn on the guest Wi-Fi. Once the guest Wi-Fi is enabled, you can see here you've got the 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz network names for the guest. You can also see the password there. Of course, you can also modify the password. Go in here and change your password, change the type of encryption and everything like that. And then your guest can join your guest network and you don't have to give them the password to your main Wi-Fi. If there's one thing I would say that perhaps I didn't love about it, and there's really not a lot of things, I wasn't able to, this is a very small nitpicky thing. My old network was called Daryl's Wi-Fi network, and it had apostrophe after between the L and the S in my name, and it wouldn't let me use an apostrophe in the name of the network. So I had to choose a new network, which then of course then I had to add all of my devices again, and I have so many, but that's just a small little thing, probably not going to affect too many people. Otherwise, amazing experience with this router. It's a super value, way blows my old router out of the water. I really get great coverage even without an extender or without a mesh system in all parts of my house. Again, it's around 3,000 square feet. I'm going to drop the link below to this if you guys are interested in picking it up. If you have a moderate size house like mine, somewhere in the 2,500, 3,500 square foot range, I think this would be absolutely perfect. Obviously, you can see if you have gig internet, you're also going to get those speeds, so you don't have to worry about that. The price is right. If there's any sales or coupon codes that Dynalink has, I'll drop the link below. You guys can get all of that information. If you have other questions about this router, you guys want to chop it up with me in the comments, I'm happy to answer any other questions. It comes with the Google Home integration as well. You can set it up in the Home app. Very cool if you have an Android device. You can go ahead and add the Dynalink router to your home in Google Home by going to plus here, go to setup device, then you'll go to works with Google, and then up here at the very top, what you want to do is just search this for Dynalink Life, and then once you go into the Dynalink Life menu, just click continue. It's going to take you over and you can set up this in the Dynalink Life gateway to your Google Home. And all you have to do is sign in using your email and password. And once you sign with your password, it's going to say link Dynalink with Google. Go ahead and hit accept. And then once you choose accept, it shall take you back to the Home app and link the router action to your Google Home. Then you'll be able to use the voice control. All right, so now I can go ahead and ask Google a question about my router. Is my router on?
Network on DLWRX36 is enabled.
And there you go. You can also do things like reboot the router and other useful features right using Google Assistant very simply. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification icon for future videos like this. I appreciate you guys checking it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.